Why, hello there, I'm Professor Joel, and welcome to my ranking of Scooby Doo episodes for Season 1 of Scooby Doo, Where Are You? I'm doing something a little unusual. I'm going to rank from my most favorite to my least favorite. Most ranking videos, they do least favorite to favorite. I'm just going to cut to the chase. I'm also making my listings. I'm going to write them out down below if you just want to skip me talking and just read about them. By all means, go ahead, do that. The reason why I'm doing it this way is that I just want to hear your top 5, top 10, or you can do them all 17, whatever. I'm more interested in what everyone else has to say. I've already reviewed every episode already on my channel. If you look at my Scooby Doo Where Are You Season 1 playlist, they're all there if you want to know more in depth about how I feel. But again, the purpose of this video for me is just to learn more about what you feel. On my other videos, because I use clips from Scooby Doo Where Are You, I'm not allowed to have comments due to the COPA law, the Childhood Protection Act laws that exist that YouTube has enforced in the past year or so. So I can't have comments, but because on this video I'm not showing clips or anything, no images of Scooby Doo, I can allow comments and not worried about getting sued. So that is how I'm going to approach this episode. For the top 5 videos of my liking too, I'm also going to compare it to what you fans felt, Scooby-Doo fans felt. And I got a mixture of this, of feedback on my videos through likes and views, as well as ratings on IMDb and ratings and polls on other websites such as Scooby Addicts and Scooby Snacks. That wraps about it. So let me cut to my top 5 or top 17 favorites in order of favorite to least favorite. So my favorite was Night of Fright is No Delight. This has always been a favorite of mine. And again, a lot of my rankings have to do with nostalgia. I think everyone's opinion will differ with Scooby-Doo based on nostalgia and how you grew up watching Scooby-Doo and a variety of other factors. I mean, our rankings always kind of change, but this one has always been number 1 for me. I just love the green ghosts, man. Those ghosts are awesome looking. I love the design. I love the spooky atmosphere of this episode. It's very scary. It scared me as a kid, but it still has a comedy in it, but the comedy doesn't take away from the spookiness. And I also love the supernatural homage to it where they did an episode of Supernatural and recreated this episode. I thought that was fantastic. And that is my number 1. For Scooby fans, like in total, the general consensus is A Clue for Scooby-Doo is the number 1 episode. My next favorite episode is Spooky Space Kook. Again, I just love the design of the bad guy. I love the design of the Space Kook. I love his laugh. The laugh is terrifying. And I just love the spooky setting of the abandoned, rundown airport in this episode. It's just a favorite of mine. And for Scooby fans, number 2 is Hassle in the Castle. And I think a lot of young kids are ranking these two. And I base also my rankings too on this VHS tape. Cartoon Network ran a poll and they had people vote on their favorite Scooby-Doo episodes. And A Clue for Scooby-Doo was number 1. Hassle in the Castle was number 2. And I'll get to my number 3, which is the same as this number 3. It's the Backstage Rage. And it's a fan favorite too. So it's number 3 for fan favorites. And this, actually, I wasn't very familiar with this. I never saw this originally as a kid. I saw it later on in my 20s. And I was surprised about how awesome this episode was and how, you just don't really see the bad guy that often appear in comics or toys or whatnot. Like Hassle in the Castle, there's a toy for it by Playmobil. But you've never seen the Backstage Rage villain. But this episode is just so thick on atmosphere. It's spooky throughout. It's very spooky throughout. And the reveal of the bad guy was super cool. And I think a little ahead of its time. Number 4 for me is A Clue for Scooby-Doo. And again, this is a 10 out of 10 episode for me. This is a perfect Scooby-Doo episode for me. And if I was showing Scooby-Doo to someone who was kind of frightened easily, I might show them this. Even though the bad guy is scary, he's not drawn that scary. He's like compared to the ghost in A Night of Fright of No Delight or the spooky space kook. But the bad guy actually tries to kill the gang in this episode by drowning them. He locks them in a room, an abandoned shipwreck down below under the sea. So that's kind of scary. And I like the reveal of this episode too. For fans, the general consensus for number 4 seems to be A Night of Fright is No Delight. My number 5 is Hassle in the Castle. Again, not a actually scary episode. The design of the bad guy, not that scary. This is the Playmobil toy, by the way. You can buy it on Amazon still. It glows in the dark. It comes with Scooby and Shaggy, and it's about like $10. Good little set, by the way. But yeah, Hassle in the Castle. I got a lot of negative feedback on my video for liking Hassle in the Castle so much, but I just love the look of the castle they go into. It's so abandoned. It has all those relics from an ancient time. I just thought that was amazing. I didn't mention it in my review, but I love the soundtrack to this episode. This is my favorite score, I think, to a Scooby Doo episode was for Hassle in a Castle. And again, yeah, the villain doesn't look that great in costume, not that spooky, but I think it's certainly memorable. They made a toy after him anyway, and the Lego set also has like a version of the Hassle in the Castle ghost. But for fans, their fifth favorite would be Spooky Space Kook. My number 6, Scooby Doo and a Mummy 2. This surprised me, but I just thought this episode was really charming in its humor, and like the mummy's kind of a generic bad guy. Mummy movies they're kind of okay. Like I like the Brendan Fraser Mummy movie a lot. I like the classic Universal Mummy as well. The Tom Cruise Mummy wasn't bad. I didn't love it, but there was a lot I liked about it. But yeah, usually mummies are just kind of boring. They're kind of like Frankensteins, I guess. They're just walking corpses. They walk kind of slow, and they take forever to get to you. But I like the mummy curse where he could turn you into stone in this episode. And I liked how they played with that. And I liked just the atmosphere, how this took place on like a university kind of campus where they had like a museum and a gymnasium and such. I thought it was pretty cool. My number 7 is Which Witch is Which? I just like the concept of this, how it took place in the swamplands and how there's 2 people using this mummy and witch identity to scare people away so they can search for a bank card they stole a year or 2 earlier. And they have that metallic pole and such, and there's that dilapidated boat that they go on. I thought that was really cool, the paddle boat. It's just a fun episode, and I like the design of the witch and the zombie kinda. I like how the witch shows up later in a Demon Hound Frightened Underground episode. So yeah, that's my number 7. Number 8 is What the Hex is Going On? Again, the bad guy is not that memorable. You recognize him when you see him, but they don't really make toys of him. But I like the curse, how he just instantly aged people. I liked how it was the uncle. I liked, you had the estate, the estate for the friend they're visiting, and then they had the Hex estate, which was all creepy and had the secret passages. So yeah, that's my number 8. And yeah, I like the bad guy too. He's kind of entertaining. Number 9 is That Snow Ghost for me. And I'm surprised I rank this as high. I don't really love that episode, but I love the winter atmosphere of it. And I find the episode charming. Like, I didn't give this 10 out of 10. I forget what I gave it, maybe a 9 or an 8.5, but I just find it really charming. And probably because it's winter and it's holiday season, I probably ranking this a little higher than I normally would. And I like the reveal of the bad guy. And what else did I like? I like the flashback when they meet that Tibetan man in his cave with his dog or his wolf. And I just love his little flashback. And there's kind of the loose end at the end. Is like, is the Yeti actually real? Is the man telling the truth? Is this actually, when he was in Tibet, did this actually happen? I like that about this episode. Number 10 for me is a gaggle of galloping ghosts. I like the vampire in this episode a lot. I didn't like the Frankenstein monster, the werewolf creature that much, but the The Dracula really sold this for me. I just wish it was Dracula and the Gypsy. Uh, but again, it's a fun episode. I like how they're visiting this castle, and it's kind of like a touristy site, but it's people aren't going in because they're running into these monsters. And I like the identity of the Gypsy and the Dracula and that kind of reveal at the end. Number 11 for me is What a Night for a Night. I think I did give this 10 out of 10. And I gave it 10 out of 10 because this was like the first episode. This is like the birth of Scooby Doo. And with this episode, we're kind of standing on the shoulders of giants here, right? Like without this episode, we wouldn't have all these other brilliant episodes and movies that have come out in the time since. And if this episode didn't work, would we even have Scooby-Doo existing 51 years later after he premiered? For me, the episode, like the villain, wasn't that great. I mean, I like the concept of the Black Knight. I've always wanted a suit of armor in my house, but he didn't do much other than just kind of clunk around. I liked how this took place in an abandoned museum. I thought that was cool, and I just liked all the scenes with the gang. Really, I like the kids being kids. Again, not overly spooky, but just a fun episode. And I think, I rank it a little lower too because I'm exhausted of this episode. I've seen it so many times, but it is a strong episode. My number 12 is Foulplay and Funland. And I love Charlie the Robot, and this is a fun episode. It's kind of spooky, but not at the same time. I like the reveal. It's a good episode. I'd say it's average. Again, I've seen this a lot. I think the memorable design of the villain makes it probably a little higher in a lot of people's rankings. But for me, it's just, again, maybe I'm overexhausted with this episode at this point. Ask me again in a year or two, I'd probably rank this either higher or lower or about the same. I don't know. If this is your favorite episode, I could see why. For me, it's my number 12. Number 13 might surprise you. This is usually people's worst ranked episode. Never Ape and Ape-man. I don't know why. I just like this episode a little bit better than the other episodes at this point. And for me, I think it's the whole scene with the floor hamburger. The scene where Shaggy finds that hamburger is just awesome. He's about to eat it, and they're like, no, the ape was eating that. And he's like, no way am I going to eat that hamburger now. Like before he didn't care, but now there's no way he'll eat this hamburger. I like too the scene where the kids are just sitting in this mansion set and they're just being kids. They're just sitting around casually discussing the Ape-man curse and how there's this hidden movie or hidden mansion underneath the set of the movie set. The villain itself, the ape, isn't that strong, not that scary, but it ranks for my number 13. My number 14, Mind Your Own Business. The minor 49er is an okay villain. I like him, actually. I like him a lot. He scared me as a kid, but as an adult, I didn't find this episode very scary, but I like how they're in this ghost town. I like how they're lost, too. They're driving, they're at lost. Any Scooby episode where they're lost and out driving always is a favorite of mine for some reason. I just like that trope. And again, I just like the concept of this episode, and it is my number 14. Number 15, Go Away Ghost Ship. So it's like my third least favorite. I used to like this a lot as a kid, and I like the design of the Ghost Pirate a lot, Redbeard. I just felt there's too much going on with that sword, that just magic sword that kind of dances around by itself, and the henchman. I thought there's too much of that. I just wish there was more Redbeard time, I think. And I probably would have ranked this a bit higher. I do like the concept of it. I do like the reveal. It just, this time watching it, it just fell a little flat for me. Again, I think it's overexhaustion. I watched this one a lot. If it isn't your favorite, I could see why. Number 16, Bedlam in the Bigtop. A lot of people like the ghost clown in this. And I think, in theory, I should rate this a lot higher because it is a spooky, scary episode. I think the Ghost Clown's like one of the scariest villains out there because a lot of people have ghost phobias, right? And I like the reveal. I mean, we all know it's Harry the Hypnotist. And I just felt though, like the episode repeated itself too much. There's like There's like 4 or 5 times where someone got hypnotized, and it's like, enough. We get it. We get what the ghost clown can do. He did try and kind of kill Scooby by making him fall off a tightrope, and he did try and kill Shaggy by putting him in the den with the lion. But it's just not, in my opinion, a strong Scooby-Doo episode for me. And my final episode, which actually, talking to fans, it's their least favorite episode. Decoy for a Dognapper. I did enjoy this episode. I like the witch doctor appearance. This is a Playmobil. You can buy these blind bags of Scooby Doo. You get a random figure, and I got the medicine man or witch doctor, whatever you want to call it, Native American guy. And I like the design a lot. I like this villain a lot. And I liked how in the Mystery Machine they showed all like the tracking devices and the high-tech gear. And I like how this takes place at night. And I like how Scooby ran into all those dog pals and all that. I thought that was really cool. And a lot of Scooby fans who watch my channel rank this a lot higher, actually. I've been talking or chatting with some of you. And this video gets a lot of views and a lot of likes. My review video anyways. So I think a lot of you people rank it a lot higher. I had to do a least favorite, right? And it's not an episode I dislike. So don't curse me out if it's your favorite or if you rank it a lot higher. Just at this point in time, and my opinion will probably change. I'll probably rank this maybe a little higher. I think I rank it a little lower though, is the Ghost of Geronimo was just, I don't know, it just didn't sit well with me. I found it kind of, I don't know. I don't really want to express my opinion on it because it's not controversial. I just don't want to open up that can of worms. But yeah, that wraps up my pairings. I'd really like to hear yours. You could do top 3, top 5, top 10, top 17, least favorite to worst favorite, or best favorite, or whatever. You know what I mean. Leave them below. If you watch this video, leave it below. Even if you don't really have an opinion, give one if you can. I'm interested. And yeah, I'm putting this video out around the holiday season, so happy holidays to everyone. Stay safe out there. And until next time, stay spooky.